Hey there, everyone. How you doing today? This is a dry run for a presentation that I've been asked to give to the W2 Capitalist Real Estate Investing Virtual Summit. This is being put on by Jay Helms. He has brought out about 10 or so experts, most of which I know and have spoken with, to give value to folks at this time. Looks like Jay's got over 500 folks signed up for a day and a half of kind of walkthrough and lectures. I've been asked to give a presentation, and I chose to make it about one rental at a time. So what this again is the dry run. I will post this after the live event goes. The live event is at 3 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Central today. So I will probably make this go live about probably 5 p.m. Pacific. So without further ado, let's bring up the presentation. And again, this is a dry run. So here we go. All right. All right. So again, this is going to be one rental at a time works, kind of our brand, what we do, really with the notion of helping the W-2 employee, right? Knowing Jay, he brings on folks to talk about all kinds of different topics. But what we're going to focus on is the buy and hold landlord. We're going to talk about getting the 4 rentals. We're going to talk about lots of different things. So let's get into it. First and foremost, have to mention that again, if you want to sort of learn our entire story, right, 15 years to financial freedom from a single house, you can get this on Amazon. It is available in paperback or Kindle, and also now available on Audible. Lots of people have been going there as well. If you've read it, I do ask for a favor. I give a lot of stuff away for free, original content every day, this presentation, so on and so forth. But if you can go back and do me one favor and leave a 5-star review, either on Amazon or on Audible, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So here's my goal for our time together. We have about an hour. What I wanted to do is I want you, each of you watching this, to believe that one rental at a time can work for you. There has been a lot of talk over the last decade about bigger is better, about syndication, about apartments. And for whatever reason, the good old-fashioned single-family home landlord has been ignored, has been thought of as being, I don't know, too small or not creative, and that is not cool. One rental at a time absolutely does work and is a great goal for most of us. Again, I believe one rental at a time is a great goal. If you are a W-2 employee, work full-time, growing family, you don't want to be a full-time real estate investor, I don't know of a better strategy, right? You could go out and burr projects. You can go out and cold call and send out mailers, but you already got enough stuff going on. There's nothing wrong with getting a great deal on a single family home, and we're going to talk about it. I believe the keys are simple. If you're going to get laser focused on being a landlord, one rental at a time, just be focused. Don't get distracted by all the other options that real estate investing has. Then start to execute. Learn your market. You have to build confidence in yourself. There have been too many people over the last couple of years that weren't confident in themselves, and now they're being burned. You bought somebody else's story, hook, line, and sinker, and now your preferred returns aren't coming. You're getting excuses from other people, where all you had to do was build confidence in yourself. So again, I think that is key, confidence. I believe the next 2 years are going to be an amazing time to invest and get great deals. You will see me talk a lot about every market provides bad, average, good, and great. I believe if you follow the one rental at a time kind of mindset and way that we teach and kind of help people get going, is this is going to be the time to get great deals. I think only one question matters in real estate investing. I think this is the only thing that's mattered the entire 20 years I've been doing it, the 100 years before I did it. And that is simply understanding in your market and your asset of choice, what is a bad, average, good, and great deal. That's it. And you need to learn that as I said earlier, you need to focus and build confidence in yourself. And you do that through execution and consistently looking at your market. So here's our story. And, in today's reality, we were both full-time employees. And when I say we, it's the wife and I. We both had jobs in the Silicon Valley, working in tech. The best market over our duration was 2010. I see some similarities between 2010 and 2020. Banks said no. Sound familiar? Sellers disappeared. Sound familiar? Buyers disappeared. Sound familiar? And of course, fake investors. I call them speculators. They blew up. We do not live in the market that we invest in. We live in the Silicon Valley and we invest in Central California. We knew our market. We knew what a great deal was. We found ways to buy everything we could. That's the key to 2010. And again, we bought out of the multiple listing service. Think Realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow. We didn't do any direct mail, no cold calling, nothing. I believe the market, just like 2010, I believe if you've learned your market, that the multiple listing service or whatever the listing service is of choice will provide plenty of opportunities for you. So here's our humble beginnings. We were burned out stock market investors. We thought we could day trade our way to wealth. Our day jobs, at least mine, I was away 100 nights a year. I traveled 100,000 miles at least on airplanes. Not fun. All we had to start with was $40,000 in cash. We lost a lot of money in the stock market. My wife, Olivia, was absolutely bought in 100%, and that will become important as you hear some of our story. I read a lot. YouTube didn't really exist when I started in the early 2000s. Read everything I could. That's what I did for fun on airplanes, was read. We did spend 2002 wasting time. All the books we read said invest 30 minutes from home. I lived in the Bay Area, as I said, and there's nothing that's ever made sense. Not a big fan of investment properties in the Bay Area. We did have to make a choice. Did we want to go out of state, meaning fly, or did we want to drive? And for us, that was an easy decision. As I shared earlier in point number 2, I already traveled on airplanes too much, so I had no interest in flying anywhere else. And then we had no family members or friends in the business. We had nobody helping us. We didn't know the market. We'd never been there. We had no head starts. We just had belief that we could do it. So we found a market 2.5 hours away. We did that by drawing circles on a California map. We found Fresno to be a large enough market. At the time, it was about 600,000 people. Now it's 1 million. We didn't want a small town. We wanted something with a lot of population and some growth. We bought our first house on 1818 Norris Drive, and in the next slide, you'll see why that's important. Rent was $1,100. The tenants moved in. Everything worked great, but then bad stuff happened. I've done plenty of videos on this story. Let's just say the tenants moved in and never paid rents. They got divorced, and the husband damaged our properties. We lost rent for 4 or 5 months and had a $15,000 repair bill. That really could have wiped us out. Can you imagine one house, first renter from nightmare, and you have to spend more? Wasn't fun. Lending was very, very, very easy at the time. We put 20% down on our first property. The next 7, we only put 10% down. We just didn't know any better. We got to 7 properties, 8 units in 2.5 years, all out of the multiple listing service, starting in 2003. We pulled capital from savings. We borrowed from our 401k. We did cash out refinances, and we just kept the ball rolling. We did create an alligator, something I write about in our book. That first property on Norris Drive, we refied and didn't do the math. We trusted the bank to be conservative. We took too much cash out of the refi. We did buy 2 properties with the money, but our mortgage payment was more than the rent. And that was stupid, stupid, stupid. I wanted to make sure we brought up our first property we ever bought, 1818 Norris Drive East. And this is just pulled directly from Zillow. I pulled this for a couple of reasons. First off, it's important to know your market. And second, sometimes the right answer is to sell. So look on the left. We bought the property in 2002, December 11th. We paid 107. We sold it 3 years later, roughly, for 264. Crazy appreciation. That person ultimately lost the property years later to foreclosure. It retrades at 75 grand. It recently sold in late 2017 for 153. And as of, I forget when I did this, April 15th probably, it's only estimate to be 171. Again, sometimes the right answer is to sell. We could have held this property, but we wouldn't be anywhere we're at. When people want to overpay for my stuff, I sell it to them. And this is what you do when you learn your market. You have to know your market. Sometimes prices get ahead of yourself. Taking a profit when investors want to overpay is great. In 2019, we did it again. We sold our apartment buildings because investors were paying stupid prices, and we raised a lot of cash. Holding forever is not always the right answer. See this picture on the left. The people that bought my apartment buildings are in the same spot. If you paid $264 for this in 2005, assuming you held it, you're still upside down 80 grand, 90 grand after 15 years. Can you imagine? That would suck. You've got to stay engaged in your market. Even if you don't have any money, you have to stay engaged. I look at my market every day, and I've done it for almost 20 years. Heck, when do you think 1818 North Drive is worth 264 again? Maybe 2030? That's crazy. We would have held it for 25 years and never got it back to that price. Sometimes you have to sell. This all comes down to learning your market. So what happened in 2010 to 12? That could be 2020 to 22. First off, in 2010, balloon payments happened because their variable interest rate loans were popular. I do not think this is going to happen in 2020. Most people have fixed rate 30-year debt. So the variable rates that forced sales isn't going to happen. Banks said, we won't want to talk to you until you're 90 days late. This was common in 2010. Bank of America, don't talk to me until you're 3 months behind. We have too many to deal with already. What you told owners is to miss payments. That's what they said without saying it. Again, that is not happening today. They gave out forbearance like that, right? No questions asked, 90-day forbearance. I think there's a downside, but we're not going to have these missed payments. What happened in 2010 is house value slowly eroded, and it just could not stop the momentum. This could absolutely happen again. It depends on how they handle forbearance, because most people will not be able to make that one-time payment after month 4 or month 6 or month 12. Forbearance will have a downside and a dark side. The feedback loop in 2010 was nasty. It just kept going and going and going. And that's how a house that could sell for 264 sells for 75. It's crazy. It just kept going, kept building on itself. Something that is very similar to 2010 today is everybody is scared. Banks are scared. Sellers are scared. Buyers are scared. Investors are scared. Again, remember, 2010 was the best year for us. Motivated sellers went from being hard to find 2003 through 2010 to being extremely easy to find. No need to do mailers, no need to call, no need to text. All you had to do was look at the multiple listing service, Redfin, Zillow, so on and so forth. I think that is going to come again. It will come later this year. It's still too early. We are very early. That's why learning your market now is critical, because when it changes, it will change quick. Again, it starts with learning your market. I can't say this enough. Buying right, buying a great deal makes this so much easier to do. So starting today, I believe most people should simply set a goal of 4 rental properties, 4 single-family homes. I think this bigger is better mindset that was pushed by others is disingenuous. What they were trying to do is get your money. They wanted you to kick in 50 to 100 grand because they wanted your money to buy bigger things. They know if they told you this big story that you might give it up. And now a lot of you, unfortunately, are paying the price. You need to sacrifice, live below your means. This really accelerates growth. If you can control your expenses, you have a big opportunity to earn, save, invest, repeat, as Jay talks about all the time. Again, bigger isn't better. This is always driving me nuts. You can hear me talking about this a year ago, not being so. I've owned them. Too many people believed it, so I sold and raised cash. Just like Norris Drive, we sold at the peak because we know our market. You have to bet on yourself. Stop betting on other people. It drives me crazy. Why do you think they know your market better than you? I know you're busy. I look at my market every day. It takes about 15 minutes. You can do it. This is the perfect time to learn your market. You're at home. You have more availability. You have the internet. I started doing this without it. You can learn your market. And when you come out of this, you will know the market better than anybody else, and you will do great deals. Please, please, please bet on yourself. Focus, execute, build confidence, and write offers on great deals. Let bad, average, and good go away. Don't rush. These next 90 days, prices are going to adjust, but don't be early. Don't be a hero. Wait for it to come. So this is what I am doing, and I always share what I'm doing. You can always follow me on my YouTube channel, One Rental at a Time, is I'm buying residential single-family homes, probably from August 1st, because remember I said let pricings fall. I'm being straight with you. I believe pricing from April to July-ish, they're just going to start to come down. But I plan to buy a lot of stuff from August of this year to December of next year. Why? Because forbearance is not the cure-all that many people think. People are asking for it, then they're going to get a nasty surprise in 4 months. And we are going to have a string of foreclosures and short sales and the like. Writing offers today, right? I am absolutely writing offers. I wrote 11 offers last week and I wrote 7 offers this week. I'm writing offers at tomorrow's prices when sellers are thinking about yesterday. For example, there are properties listed at 150 that I'm offering 100. I'm offering tomorrow's price and the seller's thinking about yesterday. We will eventually meet in the middle somewhere. I look at my market every day. It doesn't take a lot of time. 10, 15 minutes, done. I've been doing it a long time. As I teach my students all the time, just look at your market, get a zip code, get an asset type, go, 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 go. You have a 90-day window between now and August 1st to really, really learn your market like nobody else. This is the best time in 20 years to learn your market because the fall off will be so fast that you'll see it change right in front of your eyes. Then in 4 years, I am going to do exactly what we did in our book. In our book, One Rental at a Time, our real growth from 8 to 80 units happened because we did 1031 exchanges. We sold that house on Norris Drive that you saw earlier for $264, moved all that equity into a 5-unit building that we still own today. We are going to do lots and lots and lots of 1031 exchanges. I've done videos on this channel or on my channel, One Rental at a Time, talking about going from 8 to 80. It's all about taking homes when they're cheap and turning them into multifamily. I believe multifamily is going to crash. Too many investors bought bigger is better, and when the recession hits and hits hard, they're going to lose their properties. So here are my core beliefs, lessons learned from our story. Please believe in yourself. Stop trusting others. Do the work, believe in yourself, get more confident. Real estate investing will test you. Remember that story from Norris Drive. That was our first property that we bought in a market we didn't know. It could have killed us, but we kept going. bad stuff happens. Learn your market. It's a process and it never stops. Keep doing it. Keep after it. Keep looking even when you don't have money. Keep looking. Never lose sight of momentum. Momentum up and momentum down. Holding forever is not always a great idea. Remember that story of Norris Drive. We sold it $264 and it's still 15 years later worth $80,000 less. Momentum works on the way up and on the way down. That's why I believe that pricing will get interesting in July and August, because some sellers will cry uncle and sell, and that will be proof positive to other sellers to lower their prices. I really believe 4 rental properties is a great goal for everyone. If you get to 4 rental properties and like it, great, let's go to 10. If you get to 4 rental properties and you don't like it, no hard feelings, stop, you're done, no problem. Buy and hold landlording is a get rich slow business. You do need to learn your market. You need to strategically move equity when people want to overpay. See Norris Drive, see our apartment sales, keep in your market, know when people are overpaying. It's really obvious when you pay attention every day. I want you to know that you can do it. You can, I can help, Jay can help. You can absolutely do it. One rental at a time works. How to stay engaged with me? Again, I provide a YouTube channel called One Rental at a Time. It nearly has 6,000 subscribers. If you're a subscriber already, thank you. If you're not, please subscribe. I put out multiple original pieces of content every day. We do a daily millionaire series about business news. We have a series of investor experts 4 times a week. We do real talk. We do property walkthroughs. We do all kinds of things to help people. Again, original content each and every day. If you haven't gotten the book yet, do yourself a favor, get it either paperback on Kindle or on Audible. It's our story of 15 years. It was written from the perspective is, hey, we read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, now what? It's our journey. It may not be a Warren path that's as easy to see, but we document the whole process from one house to financial freedom. It took 15 years. I'm not here to tell you it's quick, but hey, we bought 20 years of financial freedom. I left work at 45. I consider most people retiring at 65. And I think that's a fair trade. 15 years of work, focus, and sacrifice to buy 20 years. We do have a podcast called One Rental at a Time that's available on all the platforms, but just know there's no original content there. I focus on creating original content for YouTube. And then what happens is every Saturday, somebody takes every video over 5 minutes and uploads just the audio to the podcast. But again, 40 or 50 videos or audio files go up every Saturday. And then finally, I get asked all the time, how do I get started one rental at a time? So about a year ago, I created a course that documents what I mean by learn your market, compare deals. And I've gone the extra mile for my students. I now have a private Facebook group. I now do live streams every Saturday at 9 a.m. to answer questions. This course is only priced at $199 because I want to keep the price point cheap, so it helps people. I want to help the masses. And for Jay and for doing this, I have a special gift. I'm going to donate $20 for every course that's signed up in the next 48 hours. If there's anybody watching this that joins the course, One Rental at a Time, if it comes from this session or from my channel, I'm going to donate $20 to Jay Helm's charity of choice. And I believe that's Operation Underground. So again, for the next 2 days, we'll say until the end of Monday, I'm going to donate $20 for every course. And of course, always remember that one rental at a time works. If you'd like to get a hold of me, here's an email address. It's just mzuber@onerentalatime.com. So without further ado, please understand that I believe in you. You can do it. Please trust yourself, focus, execution, and build confidence. Thank you very much, Jay. If there's any questions, I'll take them now. I'm not sure how we'll take questions during, after, I don't know. But that's the dry run. That's kind of the meat of it. It feels good. Let me know what you think. But of course, have a wonderful day.